Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to our webinar today on how to address some of researchers' most pressing questions with Scopus. Let me introduce ourselves quickly to you. So who are we? My name is Michaela Klosterkamp, and together with my colleague Vishal Gupta, we are your hosts of today. I've been with Elsevier for more than 19 years, working as a consultant for the north of United Kingdom and Ireland currently. And Vishal has been with us for more than 8 years, and he is covering the south of the United Kingdom and previously working in the Asia-Pacific region. In our roles as customer consultants at Elsevier, we are your direct access point for anything related to knowledge and training around our solutions, such as Scopus or also Science Direct, or publishing in an open access environment. We are both also part of a much bigger consultant team, so this is there for you in your respective regions. So now a word on housekeeping. The slide deck will be shared with you, but it's not all about slides today. We are going to show you or give you a little live demo. Vishal will run this demo for you to show you how it works to answer your most pressing questions in Scopus using Scopus. Okay, so the learning outcomes for today. The housekeeping I forgot to mention. So if you have any questions along the way, we should have a couple of minutes time at the end, probably 10 minutes to answer your question. But if we run out of time, we will follow up with you in person. So please drop any questions you have into the Q&A chat box. You also see a chat box. So this is here for you if you would like to announce there are any technical hiccups, you can't hear us properly or anything. Yeah. So any questions along the way, please drop it into the Q&A chat box. And this session will be recorded. And of course, we will share the recording with you together with the slide deck. So let's get into our agenda for today. We will show you how to use Scopus to search smarter, to track research trends, to find relevant journals, and even visualize the research landscape. So whether you are starting your research journey or looking to improve your literature review, this session will hopefully give you practical and actionable insight that will help you get the most out of Scopus. So first of all, let me tell you more about what Scopus is. So Scopus is one of the largest curated abstract and citation database of peer-reviewed literature. You find content from more than 7,000 publishers worldwide, resulting into more than 90 million items. We also have more than 94,000 institutional institutional profiles available and more than 17 million author profiles available in Scopus. So here you will find active journal titles, more than 28,000. You find book content and conference papers. But more about that on my next slide. So as a reminder, what Scopus is, it's not a subject-specific database, but it's a multidisciplinary database. So here you'll find what's happening across disciplines worldwide. Yeah, so that means you find 4 broad subject areas in Scopus index. That would be the physical sciences, the health sciences, social sciences, and the humanities, and life sciences. Scopus is updated daily, so that means you always have the latest current content in front of you. When I talk about content, Scopus is not a full-text article database, but you find the metadata available, so the indexing. That means you find information such as article or book or conference title, author information, keywords, the abstract you can search in, and the references and many other details, but not the full body of an article, for example. So the four broad areas of content you find are the journal content. We currently index more than 28,000 peer-reviewed journals. We also have gold open access content available, so resulting in currently more than 23 million items open access. So that means for everyone available in perpetuity. What about preprints? Yeah, 1.99 million preprints information you find on the author details page, and cited references are going back to 1970. Then we cover the conference part, so conference papers, which is about almost 13% of the database in Scopus. So here more than 152,000 events and more than almost 12 million conference papers. So conference papers are especially important in engineering, mathematics, the physics, and computer sciences. They're very heavily relating on conference papers. We also cover books. So we have more than 74,000 individual book series volumes available, or indexed in Scopus, I should say. And we have more than 327,000 standalone books. And the standalone books, they cover all areas. However, probably the most traditional areas for books are the social sciences and the arts and humanities. About 52% of the content is coming from those areas. We also cover patents, so more than 50 million patents from the 5 major patent offices. Now, this is what you find in Scopus. So in a nutshell, no matter where you start your journey in Scopus, using Scopus structured, enriched, and connected data allows you to quickly and confidently pinpoint relevant research, identify research experts, analyze institutional research output, or showcase research output. Yeah. Plus, our analytical tools make it easy to visualize, compare, and export the data you'll find in Scopus. Scopus caters to every persona within an organization and helps you to progress, evaluate, and reflect your research. So, for example, for researchers and academics, Scopus provides access to a large amount of scholarly work, assisting in literature reviews, idea development, and staying updated on the latest research trends. The citation tracking and H-index feature help you to see how your work is doing and lets you adjust your research focus and track your research progress. For librarians, for example, Scopus might be helpful to identify high-quality research materials for your collection or provide research support to faculty and students to find relevant literature, track citations, and analyze research trends. Or it also helps to promote the research of your faculty members, either by using Scopus APIs, which are freely available for institutions, for customers, or you can use the Scopus author profile pages to showcase publications of authors and track impact. As mentioned, these are just a few options on how you can use Scopus. Additionally, Scopus is here to enhance your research insights by tapping into new data sources. So here we provide access to author preprints dating back to 2017. So the author preprint, the preprints you find on the author details page. Then you also find data on detailed funding information since 2008 and award grants data, all to empower your decision making. Furthermore, we've made it easier for you to see where research has been cited, for example, in policy documents, demonstrating the societal impact of research outputs. And the policy document citation you find in the PlumX metrics session, for example. In Scopus, you find a variety of research metrics and indicators, which help you to showcase your institutions or you as an author's research impact. With access to author, article, and journal level metrics from nearly double the number of peer-reviewed publications compared to other databases, Scopus offers a comprehensive view of research performance. What sets Scopus apart is our commitment to transparency, providing detailed insights into how each metric is calculated. So here, for example, the author metrics, we're talking about the H-index, also called the Hirsch index, or the article level metrics, Here we have PlumX metrics included, where you can track what's happening online, or how often a user has saved an article to the Mendeley library for Reference Manager, for example, used on Facebook, Twitter, or Reddit. Oh no, Twitter is being eliminated. Actually, Twitter is not available anymore. But in any way you can use content online, PlumX metrics will help you to measure. And what did I mention? Not your journal metrics. So journal metrics, here we talk about site score, which is similar to the impact factor. Gives you the information out how often content has been cited in 4 years. That's what the site score will tell you. We also have source normalized impact per paper available, the SNP, and the SkyMargo journal rank. But we're not going in too much into details into journal metrics today for this purpose. So important, this is one of my last slides actually, is how Scopus decides which content will be added into the database. It's actually not Scopus. We have an independent content selection advisory board who decides which journal should be added to Scopus or not. And this board, they are not Elsevier employees. There are 17 independent subject chairs from different disciplines, from different areas in the world, female, male. We make sure we have diversity widespread in this area. And this board is looking at content suggestions. So there are some minimum criteria a journal needs to fulfill in order to be considered to be included into Scopus. That is, for example, it needs to appear more than once. It needs to have an ISSN number in place. It should have a publication ethics statement in place, and it should have a Roman numbers and letters available. So if it's in a different language, then the abstract and the article title needs to be at least in English. Yeah. And then, for example, on the right-hand side, you see that annually we get about 3,500 journal suggestions. And from those 3,500, the board will find about almost 40% which meet the minimum criteria. And then the board will look at the content even further. And then from those 35%, only 46 are accepted to be indexed into Scopus. So that will then, from 3,500 journal suggestions, then in the end, roughly 630 approximately will be indexed each year. Just to give you an idea how Scopus indexed content and how the evaluation process looks like. So the topic of our today's webinar, how to address some of researchers' most pressing questions with Scopus, is reflecting in a lot of questions in this area. So about finding relevant literature or tracking citation impact, analyzing research trends, how to manage or maintain your author profile in Scopus, and how to find relevant journals in Scopus. Here you see a couple of example questions we have figured for you, which Vishal will show you in a second in a live demo how you would find such information in Scopus. So that was it from my side about the little snapshot on Scopus. If you have any questions, as mentioned, please drop them into the Q&A chat box. And I will now stop sharing my screen. And Vishal, please feel free. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Michaela. And please let me know if you can see my screen on the full screen page.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. So, as you saw in the last slide, there were a few questions that we have noted. I have them here printed out so that I can help you with answering each of these questions. Please bear in mind, you will always have the recording with you, so you can always go back and search the way I searched it. So I would rather, instead of making notes, I would recommend that you watch the demo really carefully, and this will really help you going forward. So, one of the first questions or one of the basic uses of Scopus is finding relevant literature. We did a sort of a survey and we found out that, more than 70% of the people primarily use Scopus for finding out relevant literature. So how do you go about it? So you see, if you go to Scopus, you'll find 4 different tabs on your screen. So the first tab will help you find documents. Now, you can search documents by either using keywords, or you can also choose to write city names, country names, whatever it is, whatever you write here in the box, you need to pick the right search area within which you want to search that keyword from. So let's say I have a keyword here that I would like to search more about. Let's say diabetes, right? And now since this is a keyword and I want to search this keyword under article title, abstract, and keywords, I keep this as it is. Now I could either put an and here and, add another keyword. So you could use and, or, and not as your Boolean operators. You could go about adding another keyword here, or you could simply click here and add another search field if your next item is not to search within article, abstract, or keywords. So you could basically be searching, let's say, affiliation country, and you say United Kingdom. So you can be as specific as this. And then you do a quick search. Then Scopus returns results, and you will see that Scopus has returned about 91,340 documents. Now, taking this into consideration that your primary requirement is searching documents on the topic of diabetes in the United Kingdom, this is how you're going to go about it. Now, on the left-hand side, you can see there are several filters. So you can either filter them on the basis of date range or the other filters available to you, and narrow down to the most important documents and the kind of search that you would like to do each time. Once you've done that, you can either save your search or even set an alert for yourself. So this is how you can actually be updated about what's going on in this particular area. Now, on this page, you could either sort these documents. Right now, you see the latest documents on the top, but you could also sort it on the basis of highest citations. So you want to see the highest cited paper in this area. So this is how you're going to do it. Now, if your interest is to do an analysis of these documents, because sometimes it becomes really difficult to read so many documents and then find out the particular trends in a field. So one of the important topics under finding relevant literature is how can I narrow down to my search results and then do an analysis to keep up with what's going on in that particular field or find out the latest trends. So all you need to do here is click Analyze Search Results. Once you've filtered down to your most relevant articles, just click on Analyze Search Results. And then Scopus immediately converts this entire search into graphs, which you can easily interpret. Now, first thing that you see here is you see this graph going up, but then steadily going down. The simple reason is we have articles from 2024 also, and that's why you see a big drop. I would recommend to keep this to last year or the current year so that you get a good understanding about it. Now, what you can see here is that the earliest article published in this field, diabetes, in the United Kingdom was in 1838. So that's the oldest article. Now, I must tell you, on Scopus, the oldest article available goes back to 1774. So there's a lot of content that you can explore. Now, looking at this graph here, you can easily say that research in this field has been steadily growing till 2022. We still don't take into account 2023 data because the year is not yet over. And by the end of December, there are going to be more articles that are going to be added. However, on the left-hand side, you can see the distribution of article growth year on year. If you further scroll down, you can actually click on these boxes here, let's say documents by source, and you can find out where these articles have been published. So this is giving you an answer to the question, where are articles on diabetes published from the United Kingdom? Which journals are the most preferred? So you see, these are the most preferred journals across the UK on the field of diabetes. Then who's the top author? And this list will immediately give you who is the top author in this field. So you are able to identify experts, maybe collaborators in this particular field, potential collaborators as well. Other examples include documents by affiliation. Now, this simply tells you which are the top organizations across the United Kingdom that publish content in this area. So you're going to see a list of all the UK accounts. You may also see some accounts that are not in the UK. They are the collaborators, that have collaborated the most with United Kingdom. Further down, if you click on territory, this simply tells you that these other countries, apart from the United Kingdom, are the ones that the United Kingdom collaborates with the most on this particular topic, right? So again, this gives you a good idea about where research is being collaborated with the most, what type of articles are published in the field of diabetes. So more than 65% original research articles. And this trend is really important because if you use topics like artificial intelligence or machine learning, you would see 80 to 90% conference papers and very few original articles. Further, if you look at subject area, this basically tells you how multidisciplinary this particular field is. So when you use a combination of keywords, it'll give you a good idea about how different subject areas are using those keywords and publishing research. You may be dedicated to one particular subject area. So let's say if you are a student in the field of psychology, these 922 documents are the ones that are most relevant to your work. So you could click here, open these 922 documents and do a similar kind of analysis that will give you the perspective of psychology in this field. And then finally, who is sponsoring research in this particular field? So on Scopus, you can find out who is the funding sponsor. Now, this data, again, is extracted from the metadata submitted by the authors during their journal article submissions. So all that data is extracted and we have the list of top funding organizations. So this also gives you an idea of which funding agencies you could target. Right? Now, the next question that comes to use Scopus is, how can I track my own publication record and citation impact using Scopus? So all you need to do is click Scopus, go back to the home page. And now you want to track your publication record. So you can go to authors and you can find your profile. If you have published any article in a Scopus Index journal, your profile is automatically created. You can't create a profile on your own. Once you publish, it gets automatically created. So for the sake of a demo, I will be using my own name. And again, I am not this author. This just that we share the same name. So let me pick the top author in this field. So as you can see here, this is the author page for a Scopus profile. So you can see the author's current affiliation. You can see the Scopus ID. This author has not yet connected the OC ID to the Scopus ID. Again, OC ID is a unique identity. You can create your own personal OC IDs and connect them with Scopus. And you can do that right here. Just click here and add in your OC ID along with your password, and you are good to go. If you click on View More, you can actually find out the institution history, where this author, if you're looking at your own profile, where you've been working and publishing from, and the subject areas that you contribute to. So on your screen here, you can see the number of documents here and the number of citations and the cited documents. So 528 documents have cited this particular author 553 times. The H-index for this author is 11, which simply means that out of all the articles this author has published, which is 128, at least 11 articles have received at least 11 citations. Further, if you go here, you can see edit profile. So if you want to, let's say you're not happy with the affiliation, maybe it's wrongly mentioned, or you may be working at multiple institutes and you want a different profile, So as soon as you click, it'll ask you whether this is you or you are requesting changes of someone else. Just click that option, say continue, and now you can actually pick which affiliation should be highlighted on your Scopus page. If there are any documents that need to be removed and do not belong to your profile, maybe wrongly added, you can remove them from here. If there are any preprints, you will see those preprints as well. And if you want to search for missing preprints, you can click here and search and then add them to your profile. And finally, awarded grants. So again, if you feel that the awarded grants should be linked to your research articles, you can find those articles and add them here. So once you've done that and you press submit, this will automatically change and it'll go back to our team, which will further analyze those requested changes and then only make the changes if everything's in place and they have all the information. Furthermore, if you feel that there are multiple profiles of yourself being created, possibly because of different name forms, so what you can do is, if you click here, you see this particular author's name has been written in so many different ways. You can see this on top, right? So it is quite possible that one of the profiles may be missing from that particular, from your particular profile. So all you need to do is click here, and the system will automatically show you other similar profiles that could be yours. If you feel this particular profile is yours, all you need to do is just click here and say request to merge with author. And again, this will go to our backend team. They will do the requested changes as soon as they feel everything is correct. Right? So what more do we want to look at? Okay, how do I assess the impact of specific publications and authors? So again, impact is very relative. So what you can do is go back to your document search, do some analysis on the document page, or you want to look at other profiles from authors. You can simply go to their profiles, scroll down, click on the documents that they have. You can click it in view results format and then do a similar analysis like they did. If you want to look at all the references that you may have used in all those 128 documents, click here. The list of references will appear immediately. If you wish to set up a document alert for yourself, let's say or for any particular author, you can do that from here. You can also see a segregation of author position. So based on the documents from published between 2013 to 2022, it tells you that for this author, 56% of those articles are published as first author, 12% as last author, and 32% as co-author. So this information is also really useful if you're looking for potential authors to collaborate and you want to look at their authorship details as well. Okay, so more information around managing author profiles. So I've already shown you how you can, keep your author profile up to date and manage your publications. Okay, next question. How do I find relevant journals along with their metrics? So one of the ways of finding relevant journals was when I did the document search and I clicked on sources. So you could see all the relevant journals that is preferred for that particular topic. That is one way. Another way, you can click on sources here on top and you can search by subject area. So if you are working in a particular subject area, you can search either by subject area, title, publisher, or ISSN. But if you're interested to search by subject area, simply click here and it will list out all the subject areas that are indexed on Scopus. These are the broader subject areas. So let's say you are interested in astronomy and astrophysics. So I click here and I say apply. It will immediately give me a list of all those journals or books or conference proceedings that cater to the field of astronomy and astrophysics. So you can see the list here. On the left-hand side, you can see quartiles. So what are these quartiles? Quartile 1 means the top 25% journals or top performing journals on Scopus. Second quartile, 25 to 50%, and so on. So If you wish to find out which are the top journals in this field, just click here and filter them out. And of course, you have the filters for journals, book series, conferences, or trade publications. Right? Now, how do you assess a particular journal? So you can, let's say you are interested in this particular journal, say Nature Astronomy. You click here on the journal page. It will tell you what kind of information you get. So you get Scopus coverage years, which simply means how long has this journal been indexed, or what content of this journal is available on Scopus. So in this case, every article published from 2016 onwards till date is indexed. Sometimes you may see a break in the number of years, which will mean you see 2016 to 2018 and then 2020 to 2022, which simply means that after 2018, this journal was not indexed again until 2020. So every content that is published during the time the journal is indexed will always remain on Scopus, no matter if it is de-indexed. And anything published while the journal is de-indexed is not indexed on the Scopus platform. So that should clarify a lot of queries. Again, if you scroll down, you can see the last year's site score, which is the annual metric right here, which is 18.1. But you can also see the updated site score, which is the monthly metric. And as per that, the current site score is 18.4, which simply means that this journal is performing better than last year. Now, a quick tip here. If you are publishing in a Q3 or a Q4 journal, our advice always is to follow the journal for at least 6 months. So this particular data is updated every month. So if you track the latest site score, the monthly site score, it will help you understand whether the journal is growing in quality or dropping down on quality. A Q4 journal that is steadily dropping down on quality, should not be a preferred journal, because there are high chances that that journal might be de-indexed due to falling down below the Scopus benchmarks. What more you can see here is the site score rank and trend. So this journal is a pure journal that is purely catering to the field of astronomy and astrophysics. If it was catering to some other subject areas also, let's say a multidisciplinary journal, you will see a drop down here with other subject areas, and you can find out the individual rank of this journal in that particular field. So right now, this journal in the field of astronomy and astrophysics ranks number 6. And you can see other journals that are ranked 1, 2, 3, 4. And this list is a long list. So you can find out a lot of journals from this particular page as well. So this is how you can also identify journals based on their subject areas. Again, you see a small tab here on the top right-hand side corner. Either you will find this on the source details page. There is another way to reach this particular tab. So you go back to the Scopus page. And under document search, you can see advanced document search. And you see the compare sources right here as well. So there are 2 ways you can reach this tab. So as soon as you click here, you can compare up to 10 journals on this single page on the basis of 7 different parameters. So you see, you can either search journals based on their name, the ISSN, or the picture. Let me put some random names here and try and show you how this looks like. So let's say I want to compare these 2 journals. As soon as I click, it will start appearing on the right-hand side. Right? So let's say I've taken 3 journals for the sake of your understanding. And now what do I see here? So the first tab tells me how these journals have been performing over the last 10 years or so on the basis of impact factor. So you see how the trends have changed. And you can also see that this particular journal in green, analytical cellular pathology, only started publishing in 2016. So the data for this is available only from 2016, And similarly, you could find out their SJR, which is the SCImago journal metric, which is a prestige metric. Then you have the SNIP, or the source normalized impact per paper. These are all the other alternative metrics available. However, we highly recommend you to get in touch with your library and or your research office to understand how you can use these metrics responsibly. There are several set of guidelines available under the Leiden Manifesto or Metric Tide or DORA. Please talk to your library or research office to find out what is the institute a signatory to and how you can use these metrics responsibly. Furthermore, you can also find out how many documents that these journals publish every year. Now, this is really a critical metric. And, I have often seen people not using this particular metric. There could be a scenario where you could have two very relevant journals and you are interested to publish in either one of them. Looking at this metric will go a long way in understanding the probability of you getting published as well. So there could be a journal, two relevant journals, and one of them could be publishing 1,000 articles in a year, and another one could be publishing, let's say, 50 articles in a year. Again, you will do your own analysis, but then this is a huge difference, and you might want to take this into consideration while making your journal choice. Further, you can also see how many articles, what is the percentage of articles that has never been cited. There are several high impact factor journals that have a huge percentage of articles that have never been cited. And again, you might want to look at a journal that allows visibility to most of the other articles as well, so that you again improve your probability of getting cited as well. And finally, it will also tell you which journal publishes more review articles as compared to the others, right? So this is how you can do a good journal evaluation using Scopus. You can compare up to 10 journals on one single page. And then finally, how to find out if a journal is indexed on Scopus or, because if you click on the sources tab here, it will show you every source that was indexed and is indexed on Scopus. So you see, download Scopus list, you could download the Scopus source list. And as soon as you download this, you will get an Excel file with all the journals listed there. There will be a tab using which you can find out the available journals, the journals that are currently indexed and the journals that are not indexed. You will also see a tab that has all the discontinued titles, so you can find out whether a title has been discontinued already or not, with the reason and the exact date and month. And finally, there'll be another tab that will tell you all the latest journals that have been added onto Scopus, and you might not see a metric for them yet because they may be very, very new to Scopus and do not have enough data as of now to reflect all these metrics, right? So most of your questions, so we found out how you can search for literature, how you can use filters to narrow down your search results, how you can stay updated by using the alerts feature on that page, how you can track your publication record, look at your author profiles, improve your author profiles, add, remove documents, or even use metrics to compare your profile with somebody else or look at other person's profiles. Then you also looked at how you can analyze research trends. You can look at the document search, do an analysis, look at whether a topic is trending or not, find out relevant collaborators in that area, and also looking at the hot topics in that field, how you can find relevant journals, how you can assess whether a journal is currently indexed on Scopus or not, and how you can use these metrics to responsibly, evaluate journals at your own end, right? So with that, we come to the end of the demo. And Mika, let's address some of the questions that have been posted in the Q&A.